If you love Studio Ghibli films, then I have a movie here that you might be interested in. So I just got a screener for a movie called The Glassworker, which is noted to be Pakistan's first hand-drawn animated feature. And as you could see here, it looks very much like a Studio Ghibli film. But I'll even go as far and say that its influence goes beyond the animation. Because on top of the visuals emulating that Studio Ghibli style, I'd also say the same thing about the storytelling, the music, and even the tone of the story feels very much like something out of Hayao Miyazaki. But I'll just get this out of the way, and I'll say that my one criticism with the feature is that its Studio Ghibli influence is a double-edged sword. And while it tries so much to be like a Studio Ghibli film, it unfortunately makes it next to impossible to not compare this to the works of Studio Ghibli, and it's hard to really see it more as its own thing. Not to mention that even with the hard work put into it, it's not on par with the Studio Ghibli films, so there are a lot of things in here that are not necessarily as good compared to what you would get with films like Spirited Away, The Boy and the Heron, Princess Mononoke, The Wind Rises, and all those movies. But with that said, even though it's not on par with the Studio Ghibli films, man, did it get close to it though. It is still a very fantastic feature with an engaging romantic drama story about a glassworker's son named Vincent and the colonel's daughter Elise, and seeing them grow up together and how it almost turned into this romantic relationship. Not to mention that there is a great anti-war commentary in which it can make things absolutely intense. And when it comes to the animation, yeah, it's not masterclass level, but it is still amazingly good and so admirable to see what the animators can do with these characters. And not to mention the backgrounds are so beautiful. But then you have the soundtrack, and it's very rare for me that this would happen, but oh my god, the soundtrack really moved me, and I would even say that it's possibly the best thing about the feature. That's the one thing I would say is as good as a Studio Ghibli film, and it nailed the Joe Hisaishi style. So overall, even though it's not as good as a Studio Ghibli film, this is a great attempt of one. And again, if you love Studio Ghibli films, this is one that I highly recommend that you go and check out. If you get the opportunity to go and see it, then please do so. So this is pretty much to say that even though The Glassworker is no Miyazaki, it is a real good imitation of one.